Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And there we are. We are now live on another episode of The Wicked Horror Show, powered by the Dorkening Podcast Network. And we have some awesome guests today talking about an awesome movie. With us today, we have Kevin.
What's going on, everybody?
Yo.
Hey, everybody.
Tony.
What is going on, people?
Okay, and the men of the hour, Jan Birch.
Hey, how you doing? Happy to be here.
Happy to have you back.
Yeah.
You've been on
Thank you so much.
3-4 times now?
It's been a few times. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I really like your show, so very happy to be here. Very happy.
I'm hoping it's just going to get better, but it just never does.
Oh, it does get a little better, I think, Maybe. Yeah, we'll see after the show tonight.
Yeah, you guys really stunk it up. Yeah.
Hey, with me and Harley, you can't stunk it up. We're going to rock this.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Speaking of Harley Wallen. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
And
Going good.
We're talking
Stoked
about
to be on. We were just together not too long ago talking about Eternal Code, like you were saying. So yeah,
totally.
good to see everybody back.
Now we're talking about Agramon's Gate, and kick it over to Kevin.
How do you pronounce it? Is it Agramon?
Yes.
Oh, nice. I was totally
Gate.
saying it incorrectly at work today, but yeah, Agramon's Gate. So this is one that I don't know if it was the last time we had Jan on or maybe the time before that, but you've been mentioning this one for a little bit, and you described it, and we were like, "Oh, that sounds really interesting." So, like, I'm glad that we finally got to see it because,
yeah, no, I talked about this probably the last 2 times I was on.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, we shot it. It's a while back now, but Harley was good. He's waiting for the right release. You know, he was negotiating with the right people. Make sure we get the best publicity and the best release we can get. And I believe with this kind of movie, the concept carries the movie. And I say that as you know, one of the leads, but the concept of this carries the movie with obviously me and Lauren Lannon taking it over the top. With a lot of co-stars that are unbelievable, you know, surrounding us, protecting us, playing with us, basically, and then Harley as the captain of the ship. I feel from the first day I read this script, I told Harley, you got a sleeper here. You got a great movie, and he remembers this. That was before we even started talking about, are we making this or not? He said, just can you read this? And I'm like, Harley, you got something here. This is like, I can feel it in my gut. I love to play the character. I said, you have a sleeper. This could knock everybody out. You know, I said, you know, obviously, I said, you can make a lot of money on this movie. You should make this movie for sure.
Nice. And you know, looking at like going through Harley, your IMDb, you're very involved in making films and writing films and directing.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you turn this kind of stuff out so much? Like that's the thing, is it's like, I can understand if it's someone's making movies that are like, the stories are just like bleh, whatever, but where are these ideas coming from? Because you're making quality, like, independent movies. You're coming up with the stories. Like, I don't know.
You know, my mind just goes places all the time. They call it a writer's mind, I guess. But I read something or I see something, and it immediately stimulates me, and I start writing little things down. And then sometimes I look at it again, and then the next time I look at it, there's a story. Maybe there's not. And then I go to another thing that I wrote down, and sometimes it kicks in. And whenever it starts kicking in, I just kind of drown myself in it. I'm blessed too. My wife is in the business with me. So when I get one of these fits, when I have to lock myself up in a bubble, she just protects me from the world so that I can just sit and drum out as much as possible in one seating. Because usually what happens to me is, when it really inspires me, I get possessed. And I'll write a whole script in like a couple of days. Now, that's not the final script that you end up seeing on screen. It gets many rewrites, and sometimes you have to refill the story. Sometimes you have to look at it and say, does this, even from a casting perspective, make sense? Does the story make sense? But that's generally how I write. So it's always stimulating, and I always see these things popping up. Like I said last time with Eternal Code, you know, I saw a thing on Facebook from an Italian doctor that was going to do a head transplant, and that stimulated a whole film. If you've seen the film Abstruse I have out, I wrote that whole film based on the audition of the lead character in my last film. He had such an amazing audition, but it didn't at all fit the film, but it was so good, I had to have him play that character, so I wrote a whole film for it.
Wow. That's something you said there. But and the one thing too is, it seems like you know, it's good. It doesn't seem like you're getting like pigeonholed in one genre either.
I was going to say that, because I've watched a lot of Harley's films and reviewed a couple of them, and the only thing I noticed that I like a lot too is we've mentioned many a times that some directors they go with what they know, and it looks like a lot of your actors, they work together in a lot, so it makes it. But I must say, every single movie I've seen so far I liked, but they're all in different genres, so it's not like one thing. It's like, okay, I know what's coming kind of deal. Every single thing I've seen is completely different from the next, so I must give it to you.
Yeah,
thank you.
You know, because
I mean, that's good for me too, working with Harley, because we start getting a really tight relationship. I love the way he works, and you know, it looks like he likes what I'm doing. So for him to be versatile gives me, as an actor, a lot of versatility. You know, I won't typecast me in one character or the other. It's more like, if he wants to do a comedy all of a sudden, I'd probably be in it. You know what I'm saying?
I have a great comedy script with a great role for you. You know that.
Yeah, we talked about that. So, I mean, me working with Harley is also, it gives me enormous gratitude to know that he's, it's not just going to be one thing. I don't know what's coming, I don't know what's going to come next, And obviously, once in a while, he throws me something that it's absolutely freaking fantastically perfect. And we have to do those movies because those movies make a lot of noise and they make a lot of money. And then he gets throw me a curveball, and I'm like, "Fuck, I'm game." That's what I like about the relationship, the working relationship we have, because you never know about him. You don't know what's going to come up next, or what he's going to hear, what he's going to read, and hopefully, I know that I might be involved. So
and that's one thing I was going to say. Like, it's good to see like people that we know from, like you go to your IMDb and it's the people under the stairs. So people associate you with that a lot, and it's like, but it's good to see you do something different. Whether or not whether it be something like this or even like the last one, where it's obviously a little different than what we're normally used to seeing you do. But I love seeing that, especially with like just horror icons just getting out there. Because it's sometimes people just assume like, oh, this is all they can do. But
obviously, go ahead, Harley.
No, I was going to say I've seen that so much. I brought in Dennis Haskins for Enigma, where he played this dark taken over character, and I didn't even know he had that much darkness in him. So when I cast him in Abstruse, I think people that see Abstruse are going to have a heart attack, because they're going to see Mr. Belding scary. Nice. And it's one of them things that I think is so fun to do, because I think, and I'm going to label Hollywood now, and I don't have a problem with Hollywood. It's just for them to take chances. It's so expensive. It's so difficult. It's so scary. But I can take those chances. And because I have a more intimate relationship with Jan and some of these other actors, Billy is one of my favorites that always come back to me as well. I can take these chances because I know them better. Jan has actually an amazing range on screen, as far as I would absolutely trust him with a comedic role. I have a really, really cool spot for Jan in my TV show that I kind of mentioned earlier on. That's not at all anything that you've seen him in before. And then that's fun for me too.
I'd like to see that. I want to see Jan in a comedy. That'd be great. You talk about actors doing things that are like out of the norm. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just bringing this up, but Law and Order SVU, Martin Short played like a serial killer or something, and it was terrifying. It was Martin. Short. It was just a goofball, but it's awesome. And I wish that people would step out of this. Yeah, Robin Williams.
No, I mean, Harley's completely right. That's what he was saying was, I get booked for a lot of horror movies, obviously, and it's a lot of the times is the more money the bigger the budget, the more likely it is that it's like a villain or a monster or horror or a serial killer, because that's what they trust to. That's what they have seen me in. That's what they trust to put the money on. And then you work with somebody like Harley, and I always said to Harley, we're going to just build this up, because look at Leo and Scorsese, they do whatever they want now together, and that's what I think the two of us could do with more recognition and a little more success. We just write whatever we want to play, and people will watch it and respect it.
Yeah,
that's got to be freeing for both of you too, though, to be able to like experiment and like try out different things like that. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, like I said, my dad was from comedy first. I grew up with comedy, but it was just I came over here. My first feature film in America was Roger Corman's Slumber Party Massacre 3. Where do you go from there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's this new Swedish actor, and he's like, boom. And then boom, right after that, 2 years after that, Wes Craven cast me in People on the Stairs. And then Chuck Russell and Blessed the Child. I mean, like, one, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I didn't say do it or choose it. It happened, and I was good in it. Hopefully. It looks like it, because they picked me again. but I'm an open book. I'm so much more than that. So, and that's why I get to explore a little more with Harley. And not to say, though, we go back to something like Agramon's Gate. I freaking loved playing with the demon in that one. You know, it's like, you know, it's one, you know, I might be cast a lot like it. It doesn't mean that I don't fucking love to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, the thing is, you already
but
know
I also like to do other
do it.
things. But, but I really, I mean, I'm not saying anything against the roles in horror. I love them. I know I can kill them. I can, you know, and that's the whole point. Let's do everything we want to do, and you know, and not just one thing, but I know I'm freaking really good at the one thing. You know, you know, and so I really enjoy that too. Obviously.
Yeah. Getting back into the movie because we did stray a little bit, but so you said that with the last one you saw like an article about doctor transplanting a head. What inspired this movie?
I think this one, it was my first shot at a horror movie, and I wanted to do some of the older horror movies like an homage a little bit, because I think for quite a while the horror movies have gone into an awful lot of gore and excessive stuff that it definitely has its time and place, but it can't be the only kind of horror film. And it was really refreshing to me, and I know everybody doesn't love it, but The Silent Place, The Bird Box, you know, The Haunting of Hill House, all those things to me was refreshing to see that a traditionally composed horror film with really good acting, really good story, suspense, layered suspense, and some jump moments, and then some gore, all combined to make a fuller presentation. Not better by any means, but I wanted to do that. Later on, you know, Ash and Bone's going to be out, and you're going to call me out. You're going to say, "Oh, I thought you said," but I wanted to do that first. I wanted to go back to the original roots of the horror, the way it used to be a full orchestra and not just a heavy metal guitar. I wanted all of it.
Yeah, I agree that there's place for both of it, but you know, if a movie can actually freak me out, then that's cool. I mean, like, look at gory, like, it makes me flinch because it's so gross, you know. But like, if a movie can just get under your skin a little bit, like, I don't know. I mean, that's the memorable ones to me. Those are the ones that stick with me. So I agree, 100%. But I also love the gore and stuff too. But that's not the end all be all. Yeah, me too. I just think that for quite a while it became the slasher was the only horror film that really did anything. That was the one thing that I wanted to just see changed a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, Ash and Bone. I go back to that. I mean, Ash and Bone is you know, probably Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets House of Wax.
Okay.
So that it's a very, very different direction. But with this one, I wanted to take that suspense. I wanted people to wonder. I wanted some mystery behind it. I wanted to do all those things that the traditional horror movies did. So that was the plan, anyways.
Nice.
Yeah.
So no,
sorry, go ahead.
actually, I was just going to break in here for a second. Just want to let everybody know we're talking about the movie Agramon's Gate, and if you want to learn more, there's information down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And I do have the trailer. We should play that, and then we'll come back to Kevin. But we also have a question we need to ask Jan. A question we ask him like last couple times he's been on. We need to know an answer. But either Jan or Harley, would you like to introduce the trailer?
Harley,
go
go
ahead.
on. Oh, okay.
Oh,
no, this is the trailer of Agramon's Gate, the most amazing movie, coming out all platforms. February 11th, we have a great red carpet premiere on February 7th. Me and Lorraine Landon. It's something you don't want to miss. It's a suspense, thriller, horror. It's the old style. It's Hitchcock. It's before your time. Enjoy it.
Hey everyone, this is Vesna, the one I've been telling you all about.
Why are you so against this anyway? It's just for fun.
I guess his dad went all Amityville and...
Who want to go first?
Tried to kill his mom and Richie.
No way.
Yeah. And he saved his mom and killed his dad.
Can we talk to family members? We could do a seance.
How's my mom doing?
She's still the same, sweetie. What's urgent?
Something happened at work last night.
Something pushed through.
I told you my dad was crazy.
This is the partner I've been telling you about.
I like the funny kind of crazy. Like The Shining kind of crazy. I need to know what happened, Mom.
So it looks like Baal or Agramon. Some people say Baal is the devil's right hand.
Idiot! It's getting worse.
I will argue that Agramon is his left hand and that the devil is left-handed.
Who the hell did we let into our house last night?
I can't find her. Did she come back?
She's been here all night, Richie.
Detective Blackwell. It's Richard Stanhope. You can't even protect your own son.
You are all gonna die! He is him! Him is he! He is him! Him is he! He is him!
And we are back. Kevin, do you want to ask Jan the question that we've been waiting
Well,
for?
you teased it, so I want you
did.
to ask.
Well, we saw the trailer for this a while back, and we're absolutely sold by the teaser, and we absolutely can't wait for it. And actually, people have been bugging me about it. When's it coming out? Sky Sharks, Jan. When are we going to see Sky Sharks?
Well, you know what? They did say they was going to be in Texas for the XXW festival this year in March. And then the director decided, don't kill me, Mark. The director decided that the music in the post is not perfect yet. So he went back into post to do some music and some extra special effects. And he's telling me, as late as 2 weeks ago, that it would be released this summer and everybody will know about it. So it's not, awesome. if it's not a major music festival, they're going to maybe do it like I don't know. They might even do a 4th of July thing. France is already booked like 2,000 theaters for it before it's even completed. Wow. Yeah, and Germany the same. It's a German movie. It's Sony all over Europe. I'm hoping Sony will just pick it up here and just blow it out. They spend, I'm not going to say the amount, but they spend millions and millions and millions of euro in posts right now. So I'm really excited to see it. I'm really excited to see what they did. This is the first movie I've ever been in where I never acted with a single person. It was all green screen, and so was for everybody else.
Wow.
We were in the studio. There was like 6 different studios going on when I was shooting. Tony Todd was in one studio, and Naomi Grossman was in another studio. I was in one studio, and they basically told us, "Okay, you're in the library." I'm like, "I'm where? What's happening?" It doesn't look like a library.
Get it.
And like an hour later, like now you're in your garage. You're looking at your car. I'm like, I don't see no car. This doesn't look like a garage.
This looks like the same room from before.
Right. I haven't really moved. You just changed my clothes. What's happening? But I think they're on to something. They're definitely in time. It's a movie that's revolutionary in all kinds of aspects. The way you make a movie, the way you can make a movie with like 20 stars in it. That doesn't have to work together once. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's crazy, but I can't wait to see the results.
Spend a ton of money in post-production, but
oh my God, you have no idea.
Yeah, but if you have
no idea.
People haven't seen the teaser or the trailer for Sky Sharks, you need to just go to YouTube and just type in Sky Sharks.
Yeah, no, the last minute teaser they released last year was that was amazing, and that was 6 figures on that one. There's a 60-second teaser.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like Harley can make some movies on that one.
For real. But that also it goes to show, like, not just Harley, but we get a lot of like really just quality films that we know are much lower budget than that. So, with good ideas, good actors, good stories, someone who can actually film it and record it's good sound and everything, you can pull off a great movie and not have to spend $1 bajillion.
Of
But
course.
at the same time, too, I like the bajillion-dollar movies as well.
No, of course. Now I'm dying to see it, and also not because they, did the green screen thing and might spend a lot of money in post and did those. It's independent. That's what I like. It's all they just started on crowdfunding, for God's sake.
Really?
The first million they got was on the internet, and then they got another million, and they just kept going. So this is all independent filmmaking in the 21st century for sure. Yeah. This is how you can do a big movie without even being dependent on a single studio.
That's intense. Really,
But it takes 5 years. See, that's
totally.
Yeah,
that's the problem. They started actually 6. I think they started 2014 or 2013. We're on 6 or 7 years now. So you want to do you have to have some time.
I think it was like, I remember hearing about it like after Kung Fury came out, and it was like similar looking style wise because they did a lot of green screen, like a lot of CG mixed together. That's just a short film, and I was like, holy crap, this movie just looks intense and crazy, and there's sharks flying. This is terrifying.
No, I mean, I shot 2015 in November, so that's 4.5 years ago.
Wow.
And I was in the tail end. Lynn Lowry and Robert Lazardo, they shot like 2014. I was shooting with Tony Todd and Naomi Grossman and Dave Sheridan. We all did the same year, but the year before that, it was another bunch of people. And the year before, I think they started 14 or 13. So
wow,
it's been a while, but
I'm sure
it's
all
very anticipated. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm sure all the actors can't wait too, because I'm sure that they're it's mentioned to Tony when we see him as like I'm like, oh, Sky Shark, what's up? So it's like so we can stop having people ask him, when it comes out. That'll be good.
Oh yeah, Naomi too. Naomi texted me the other day saying, "When is the fucking movie coming out? Everybody's asking me about it."
That's big though. If that many people are interested, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And I'm sure that you see that's another reason. And Harley will understand what I'm talking about here. As somebody like Stanley Kubrick, like a movie is never done. You can never complete a movie. You can never complete a script. You can always change something. You can always make it better. The thing is, though, when you get into this thing and trying to be a perfectionist, you can actually go on forever.
Yeah.
So I think Sky Sharks got into that spiral a little bit because they have so much anticipation now that they're looking at it a second time and a 2,000 time, the 2,500 time, and what can I cut different? What can I change the music? I think that they're in that state right now. They're like, everybody's wanting it so bad, so I don't know. Can I make it better? Yeah.
I think it's called paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
We've talked to a lot of independent filmmakers, and there's one movie I'm thinking of where it took the filmmaker 5 years, and it's pretty much the only full-length feature he's ever released, and he hasn't done it since. It took so much time and his life, basically.
Yeah.
But you were talking about how there's be a big premiere. Where is the premiere going to be, and can like the public go?
You know what? Not a public event. This is an invite only. You coming?
Okay. I don't know about that. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, so it's in Beverly Hills, California, and at the Lumiere in Beverly Hills, and it's February 7th. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I know my manager, publicist Joe Williamson. Big shout out. He's got all kinds of media coming. This has been a funny one because I don't think that anybody realized how big of a buzz this film was going to have. And it's just been continuously trending, and I think I'm asked more about this film than probably all the other ones combined. Of when is it coming out? When is it coming out? When is it coming out? So it's a funny spot to be in, but it's gonna be a lot of fun to sit down and share it with the cast and crew and enjoy the experience.
I mean, Jan's been talking about it like I said the last couple times. So I definitely got to watch this movie. And then Leo's like, yeah, that's the movie. I'm like, okay, finally get to sit down and sit down and watch it. So
no, I mean, we had so much fun shooting it too, and I knew, like I said earlier, I knew right away this is something special. It's going to be great, and I mean all the awards it won already, and you know I could boost my own horn. I got the best actor at the Vegas Film Awards for this, and the film got the best awards and all kinds. You know, Harley can fill you in more on that. All kinds of festivals, best scare a couple of times. I mean, like all kinds of categories. So it's not just like a film we like. It's a film that's been recognized and nominated and awarded all kinds of different awards, different film festivals.
Yeah, I just found out that at the big awards ceremony for the Vegas Movie Awards, we are selected to screen there as well. We already won Best Feature and Best Director and some other stuff there, and now we're at the big event. So we'll definitely have to crash Vegas in May. I think it's May 20th, 21st. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there with you for sure.
So you're winning awards. So did this have like any kind of like? Was it just like did you run the festival circuit for a little bit? Or?
We did a little bit. We actually did not do a whole lot because we thought we were going to release in October last year, and when we looked at the short turnaround for media, and we looked at the films that were popping up in October, at the time we're looking at a theatrical release, we felt that it was probably not the best time to release. The distributor has this funny thing that they release every other month only. So that means October, the next release is December. And I'm definitely not going to release a horror movie, when people are watching Christmas movies.
Yeah.
So we had the discussion and we ended up pushing it. Agramon's Gate was shot a couple of months before Eternal Code.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So we've been sitting on it longer, but that was again that strategic choice, talking to the distributor and whatever else. And when we got tested out for the theatrical, we just landed a smidgen below getting the full on-demand tier 1 placement. And I just found out that they said they didn't have the guts to go with the limited theatrical anymore without the placement. So we kind of in a funny spot because we've been planning for a theatrical this whole time. And now it looks like they're doing a full blast VOD instead, which is cool because most people watch the films there now anyways.
Yeah, I do enjoy like sitting down in the theater and watching, especially if it's like something like this or I tend to go try to check out as
horror,
much as I can, like in a theater, even stuff that's not horror too, but like more the even if it's not totally independent, like more independent feel kind of like lower budget.
Yeah.
I love to see it in the theater.
I mean, I haven't gone to the theaters in like 7 years just because many reasons why. But it's one of those things that literally there's a difference between watching something at home and watching it in the theater. Like if you can get that experience, there's just certain things, certain movies you sit down and you watch and you're just like, you have to see that in the theaters. You can't. You have to get that feel for it. So
sometimes even with people that are like maybe annoying in the theater, sometimes their makes the movie better. Like sometimes flipping out, they're like, oh my, like this is great. This person's flipping out.
I watched King of New York in New York on the premiere date.
Oh,
that was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere added another point at least. For my review on that. That was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, and there's some movies that like the experience in the theater is probably the best like experience I've had with that movie. Like Blair Witch Project. I saw that in the theater. A huge theater that was sold out completely. Bless you. It was completely. Bless you again.
Thank you so much.
Silent. People were like terrified the whole movie, and I've never seen it before.
That was me. That was me. That was back when it was at the Landmark chains, and it was at the Arts Theaters, and it had no credits. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It had no credits when it first came out, and everybody believed that it was real.
Yep.
That it was edited together footage that was found. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, no, there was like 8 by 8.5 by 11 sticky notes on every cafe in West Hollywood, like missing. These people are missing in the forest or whatever.
That's
and
awesome.
that was the ad. That was the ad campaign. But I know one of the guys who actually decided on the marketing campaign. They wasn't supposed to be theatrical originally. They were supposed to do, even in those days, do the direct to video and stuff. And one person just fought to say, "Hey, I can do this. I know it's a $40,000 movie, and hey, they made $50 million in the box office."
The way I found out that it wasn't real is that all three of them were sitting in the audience of Jay Leno one night, and I was watching. Wait a minute! And I'm like, they're not dead. I'm like, wait, well, this is also before everyone had the internet and on their in their pocket, and find it.
Well, the internet though, that also
they had the fake websites.
Yeah, they had everything. I mean, this movie actually. Agramon's Gate has the potential. I told Harley from the beginning to be like the major sleeper. The distributor's not playing 100% the way we would like to do it, but I still feel like this movie is going to be extremely successful because of what it is and the quality of the film, the quality of the directing and the acting and the whole package. It's more of an old classic horror movie. I mean, hey, Harley, I compare you with Hitchcock right now. So, it's like The Birch, but it's there, but it's not there. It's like what you don't see. This movie has what you don't see is what scares you, and then all of a sudden, boom, somebody shows up. It might be me, and you see a little bit, but it's it's that kind of feel to the movie.
Yeah, we love playing with your mind because I think sometimes what we see can never be as scary as what we imagine.
Yeah, there's I don't want to give away the scene, but there was definitely one scene where people were like replacing. I'll explain when we're not live, but you think it's one thing, then it ends up being someone else, then it ends up being someone else, then whatever, and then just like. I really, and it's very like low tech. It's just stepping in, stepping out, stepping in, whatever. And I'm like, but it's still effective. It's creepy. Yeah. If that happened in real life, I'd be terrified.
Yeah, we definitely went for things that would crawl under your skin and into your head. That was absolutely what we were striving for, and then give you the genuine scares too, because it drives me crazy when they don't ever give you a payoff.
Right.
You need the payoff too, but it's like Hitchcock said. It's the kill is not the thing. It's everything leading up to the kill. Mm-hmm. That's where it all is. The magic is there. After the kill, it's over.
Right. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to bring up Harley. Your character was outstanding as well. Absolutely loved you in this movie.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to give you a big secret. That role was meant for Billy Wirth, and I had to wrestle a bear to figure out what to do with that because I had pictured it as Billy the entire time, and then coming up short towards the end, Billy wasn't available. I believe he was filming with Forrest Whitaker, and I said, you know what? I felt this role from the get-go, but the whole everything that happened, I created that character and the backstory to it. That changed the character that I'm playing across, and gave her the Cajun accent and everything else. It completely changed everything, and it was probably 2 weeks before we started shooting that we made the decisions to make those changes. And I'll tell you, there's a whole movie about the backstory of the scar. That at some point should be made.
Yeah, I just wanted a backstory on how to do it. I'm like, how did he put this convincing scar on his face? Like, I'm sure it's probably wicked easy, but I don't know. I mean, it looked legit, and it's like 3-dimensional and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that they use, and to be honest with you, I almost ended up with a scar on my face because we used it so many times, and it contracts the skin, to create that crease, so it becomes a real scar. And then afterwards, it was itching so bad every day, so I peeled it off. And my makeup artist says, "Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, because you're going to peel off the layer of skin." And then the next day we go back on set, there were already red lines. So she put it on the same place again. And she's like, "You can't take it off yourself again today. You have to come back to me." And what do? I peel it off myself. So I almost ended up with a permanent scar on my face from that one.
But you would look pretty badass, though.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. So the backstory of that was that we, Aphrodite, who plays Vesna, and we a long time ago tried to drive a demon out in an exorcism of my girlfriend when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out very well. I lost my eye, and we had to call in Killian, who is the guy who comes with the gadgets and the things. So that was kind of the backstory to that. And so we created all of that just so that I could figure out a way to make Zeb not what I had originally thought it would be.
Yeah. So
you did that in 2 weeks?
No, the last 2 weeks I had been set on me being him and giving the backstory and everything else. But it probably took me 2 weeks to figure that out.
Without giving too much away, is there any thoughts of possibly continuing the series, making it a series?
we thank you. We have actually heard a lot of questions about it. I think it's one of them things. If it starts taking off the way we hope, we would definitely love to revisit it. And I actually think we would probably do the prequel first, because I love that whole thing of these young people that are playing and trying to get, they're trying to drive this demon out of this young woman, and it's clearly not working. They don't know enough, but I think there's a lot of play there. I mean, I think I could lock myself up in a room and have a first draft that was probably pretty good in less than a week.
Nice. Yeah, because I do really like those characters. Yeah. Like I don't know.
Everyone.
Well, even though even with a prequel, a perfect opportunity to bring Jan back.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Thank
you, Leo.
Go back into the
You want 5%?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that there's a chance that we go back and play with this, because first of all, it was a lot of fun to do, and I think when I remember seeing this, because when you watch it as a director, you don't watch it at all as an audience at first. So you're tinkering, and you lose all your objectivity, and then you get space from it. And I remember we screened at the Motor City Nightmares Festival, and I walked in to watch it there, and it was a packed room, and it was like people standing on the walls, and they stayed. Everybody stayed, and I remember somebody came up afterwards, and they were like, "I loved it," because he's like, "It's a horror movie, but this is like the perfect date movie," because I totally think you sit next to a girl, you move closer and closer and closer.
Yeah,
it's scary, but it's not so scary you get grossed out. So you kind of get lucky, and you get to watch a good movie. Yeah. And I was like, "Can you just review the film so I can use that quote?"
It's the kind of movie that I would have like finger dents in my arm, like sitting next to my wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's the only reason I don't punch you in the face or something like that.
God. She like squeezes arms, like squeezes.
How did you guys like the humor in it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
because this is not working. Just the delivery and just.
What were you saying, Tony?
No, I mean, Yo-Yo kind of put it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it kept it. Obviously not. I mean, it was still.
It was in the right places.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't overload comedy or anything. I think sometimes if you can make somebody chuckle or at least smile before you build the tension right back up again, I think it hits you in a different spot. and I think sometimes we forget that, and I think it's good to do that a little bit.
Oh
It
yeah,
warms you up before something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right, I was
also
going to say
makes
this.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Yo-Yo.
It also makes it a bit more believable, like that in situations like that, people will try to do something to make themselves feel a little bit like, okay, there's an end to this. We can have a little bit like make those jokes and things like that.
Leo and Yo-Yo, you've experienced conventions with me, and if I get stressed out, I'm always trying to crack a joke because that's how I am, because it lightens the mood a bit. And I'm trying to, but sometimes, most of the time, I'm not successful. But whatever.
What I wanted to bring up before is I'm actually very impressed because we've had many directors on who have every single hat on, like directing, acting, and writing, and all that stuff. But everything I've seen from Harley, he does. It seems like that's what you're like used to. Everything that I've seen, you've written, you've directed, and you've acted in. And I'm just like, I've heard people like horror stories that say it's so hard to go from both to both. Is that something like you mean to do or you like doing? Because it seems like in every single movie I've seen, you do everything. So I'm like, he must enjoy doing this because
I do. I mean, acting is definitely my first love. I was on Solstolarna in Sweden, forever ago, and I started as an actor and did all those things. So acting is always my first love, but I found out that writing is an outlet for me. It's actually a stress relief. It actually gets my mind really occupied and stimulates me. And then directing is something that I think happened by accident. When we first started making films and we got into these short films and festival films at first, me and my partner Walbert kind of teamed up and dual directed. And I just realized that it's very tricky for people to know how to talk to an actor, to understand how to get into their headspace and respect their process and everything else, and allow them, to not make a handcuff out of the script, but to make a handrail that guides them. And I think, you can ask Jan, but I think I figured out as a director how to give the actor and own the role with minimal movement, unless they somehow misinterpret something and step way off. Then obviously you have to bring them back. But I think when you empower an actor that's solid and that knows what they're doing, you're just going to get way more out of it. It's like Quentin Tarantino says, 90% of directing is casting, and that's I'm absolutely agreeing with that 100%.
Nice.
I mean, to add to that, Harley, Harley as a director, you can tell he's an actor because he and also he you could tell he knows his shots, and he, and has working with great DPs to guide him through the shot list. But he really works for the actor. He gives us a lot of freedom. He gives us a lot of liberty to do to a certain extent. I mean, so far when I worked with him, I've had kind of a good idea what the movie's all about. So it hasn't have to be that many tweaks. But for example, in Eternal Code, one of the scenes I went way past what he saw. I didn't know what he saw. I went, it was a very dramatic moment. I went like tears, full blown. Everything was a waterfall. And he said, you know what? And I really respected this, and I think it came out great in the movie. He walked up and said, this guy is a little more in control. I'm like, okay, this was an emotional moment. Obviously, as an actor, usually you get emotion, you go all the fucking way because that's usually what they want. And he's like, no, back it down a little. I want the glaze of the eyeball, but I don't want the tear. So you have to like pull it back a little bit, do it a little bit in the middle, which sometimes is actually even harder to do than to go all the way out, because you're going to have to kind of stop yourself somewhere, and you have to not think about a certain sense memory because it's going to get you too far. But the guidance and the direction as a captain of the ship, I have to say, kudos. I respect him a lot, and I think he says he sees himself as an actor as the most passionate, but I think he is going to find himself pretty heavy into the directing in the future.
Yeah. Well, I love the directing. I love, having that red herring and making sure that the story stays solid. Because especially in indie film, I've been to so many premiere. I've seen so many films. A lot of the times after the film, you end up looking at each other and going, what was that even about? Mm-hmm. And you don't really even know what the story was because it wasn't cohesive anymore. Because what happened was something really cool happened, and then the director just went with it, and then they added to it, and suddenly they lost the story. So for me, that's a very, very important piece to not lose. I can find a diamond and still keep the red herring and still keep the story, so that when you're going through it as an audience, hopefully you care about the people, you feel for them, and you're curious what's going to happen.
Now, one thing that you mentioned, you're both from Sweden. I'm curious, how did this working relationship come to be? Like, did you know each other? Have you known each other for a very long time, or how'd that work?
Actually,
mutual friend.
A mutual friend. I was actually celebrating my wife's birthday in Montecito, California, lying by the pool. I have to say, I was relaxing on a Sunday. I get a Facebook message from a friend of a friend, saying, my friend Harley is directing this film. He's really interested in you being in it. Are you interested? So that's kind of how it all started, with a Facebook message.
Yeah, it was interesting because she said, she goes, "Oh, you're Swedish. I have this actor friend who is Swedish. I have to connect you guys." And I'm like, "Who?" And she goes, "Jan." And I'm like, "No way. Like that's too cool." So here I am, and I'm like, this is somebody. I mean, because I'm a big fan of horror films. I'm a big fan of Jan's, and to be honest with you, I love The People Under the Stairs, but that scene in Bless the Child with Kim is awesome. If you haven't seen it in a while, definitely recommend checking it out because it's so cool, and now hearing the whole story about how much more there was of that character makes me interested. But yeah, that's where it started. And I think, like I said, kind of before when we were testing mics and everything, Swedish people in general are just genuine, caring, loving, kind, and have all those traits. So finding Jan was kind of like finding home for me. So being here, I'm not on my own. He's not an actor anymore. He's a great friend, obviously a great actor too, but he's become much closer and much more of a partner almost now when it comes to all of this stuff. It would be really weird to make something where I knew that there was a role for Jan and not have him in it. It was strange for me to even do.
Yeah, and from a fan standpoint and from a viewer standpoint, I would really enjoy to see Jan in some more awesome stuff. Like, he's a lot of stuff that's good, but I wanted to stand out more. So yeah, comedy. Yeah. I want to see that comedy.
Oh man, it's a funny script, man. It's the funny thing is my distributor at the time said no, Harley, don't do comedy. It doesn't travel. And I'm like, well, I just have to build my brand and get a little bit bigger, and then we'll have enough of an audience that I can make this film because I'm gonna make it. I don't care what they say. It's in me. It wants to get out. So, and I didn't write this myself. I have a friend of mine who wrote it, and it's based on a short film that I acted in that was hilarious. So I just couldn't resist it. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely. This year is so booked up. We have the TV series Tale of Tales. We have the horror film that we're shooting with Jan, main character, that's called Beneath Us All, which is a vampire story. And then I acquired a true story with a terrifying case of domestic violence that actually was on Chris Cuomo, Inside Evil, and Netflix picked up the rights for the documentary miniseries on this, and I have the rights to the film based on her story. So we're doing that. So this year is completely packed. But that comedy, I'm aiming 2021, man. We're going to have some fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, on this Beneath Us All, to say a couple more words about that, it's one of the reasons that I'm not cutting my freaking hair right now. I tell you, I'm a vampire, a Viking vampire, 1,000-year-old Viking vampire. That's all I'll tell you right now.
Completely rebooting the vampire origin in this, and taking it a different route, and the story. Is amazing. Brett Miller wrote it, and he wrote Ash and Bone as well. I come up with a really good idea, but I've learned that I can't wear all the hats, and if I want to grow and be more excellent, the only way to do that is to bring in a stronger team, a fuller team, and expend budgets, obviously. So that's what we're doing with this. I don't know if you've seen. Online, but there's a Mask short film series that's out on YouTube, and the costumer on that one is actually doing the costuming for Jan. We have a really, really cool look that we're going for with him. That I think this is going to be really, really special, and be again another thing that's a little unique, a little groundbreaking in its own way, and that Viking origin vampire just sounds.
The movie starts in Sweden. You can't go wrong, man.
Right?
Are you actually filming in Sweden?
It starts in Sweden 1,000 years from now, and then flash forward
1,000 years ago. Yeah.
But are you going to actually go to Sweden to film or no?
I would. If somebody gives me the budget to do that, I will do that. Otherwise, we will shoot it in Michigan, where it looks an awful lot like Sweden.
A friend of mine goes to Sweden every year to visit his brother and his niece and nephew. So I'll see if he can sneak guys over in his luggage or something.
All right, cool.
It'll work out. But yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for that too. Like I don't think I've seen a Viking vampire. And the thing is too is
that's what I said.
yeah, vampires like had their heyday for a while, and then they kind of took the backseat to zombies, and now they're creeping back in again, which is fine with me.
I just think that they need to be scary again, because if you remember the original, like 30 Days of Night is a great movie. I love it. It's scary as hell, and it's exactly how it. I love those vampires. The glittery ones, not so much.
Yeah,
not my thing.
That's where it kind of not ended, but it was just like you went from like Lost Boys and movies like that, and then you got. And then 30 Days of Night was ending, and then the Twilights came in, and then
Bram Stoker's Dracula was really good.
Yeah, that was a
just
recently on Netflix, the new Dracula BBC series, which was awesome. So it's like now people walk around work and people are talking about Dracula again. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we'll give him a new look and a new origin, and I think that's. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and the script is incredibly strong. It's Brett Miller back at it again, who wrote Ash and Bone, and I think we've with Jan and Sean and Maria Olsen, it's such
Sean
a
Wallen.
all-star
We're going to be together again.
Oh
yeah,
People Under the Stairs reunion.
Yeah,
People Under the Stairs reunion. And on that note, we're shooting this movie 2020. 2021, me and Sean has about 60 appearances for the 30-year anniversary.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So,
wow.
it's going to be it's a great opportunity actually for Beneath Us All to get the most PR boost you can ever get, because we're going to be everywhere next year.
Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, if you got, I don't know if it's something that you think it'd be done, but that's something that'd be cool to like have like screenings at conventions if you guys are there doing signings. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
To do
Harley might be able to have at least a clip that we can use possibly.
That'd be awesome.
Who knows?
Well, absolutely. The goal is to release it. We're doing so. The costuming is obviously airbrush and foam and stuff. So and by the way, Jan, is probably 3 costumes. I talked to the costumer today, so you probably have to have 3 different costumes.
There's more time.
Fun.
It's more time.
Yeah. So that's it's going to be a lot of fun, and like I said, I love that script. It's really funny with horror too, because it kind of grabs you. I started now with, I've always been a fan of watching it, but making it it seemed like it was going to be, I don't know, a bigger task, because it's so hard to say what's going to be scary when you see it, what's going to be creepy when you see it, especially when you read it 1,000 times and then you put it up on the screen and you're editing it and you're watching it and drowning in it for months and months and months. And then when you put it on the screen, you've seen it and read it so many times that you're like, is it still scary? I don't even know. That was the thing that was really refreshing for me. And I actually tried to do this. Whenever a festival is within reach, I try to go just to see the film with an audience, because at that point my objectivity is just killed. So to hop in there and sit and just watch without anybody knowing who I am is really, really cool.
Nice. Leo, you were going to say something earlier.
No, you were talking about vampire movies like a resurgence. There's also for Marvel, you have Morbius and then Blade.
Oh, I love Morbius. That's one of my favorite villains to Spider-Man, and he's never really been up front and center. So it's really cool to see that they're going after that, and I think that's a good origin story or whatever they're doing. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Totally.
Nice.
Yeah, we are at the 10 o'clock hour. So what I'm going to do is for the people that are that weren't in the room earlier, I'm going to re-show the trailer for Agramon's Gate, and then when we get back, we'll do closing arguments or closing discussions. Here we go.
Hey everyone, this is Vesna, the one I've been telling you all about.
Why are you so against us anyway? It's just for fun.
I guess his dad went all Amityville and...
Who wanna go first?
Tried to kill his mom, Richie.
No way.
Yeah. And he saved his mom and killed his dad.
Can we talk to family members? We could do a seance.
How's my mom doing?
She's still the same, sweetie. What's urgent?
Something happened at work last night.
Something pushed through.
I told you my dad was crazy.
This is the partner I've been telling you about.
I like the funny kind of crazy. Like The Shining kind of crazy. I need to know what happened, Mom.
So it looks like Baal or Agramon. Some people say Baal is the devil's right hand.
Idiot, it's getting worse.
I will argue that Agramon is his left hand, and that the devil is left-handed.
Who the hell did we let into our house last night?
I can't find her. Did she come back?
She's been here all night, Richie.
Detective Blackwell. It's Richard Stanhope. You can't even protect your own son.
You are all gonna die! He is here! Him is he! He is here! Him is he! He is here!
And
You
I
didn't
can't
like it?
do it.
No, really.
Really?
The Beyond Meat.
Yeah.
The Beyond or the Impossible? Because they do taste a bit different.
Yeah.
Impossible
I
has
tried-
soy in it, though. You don't want Impossible. It has soy and it's GMO.
Yeah. that's-
Beyond is non-GMO and it has no soy. There's no, that's the main difference.
Nice.
You don't want to eat a lot of
Yeah,
soy as a man. Trust me. You don't want to
No,
do that.
you don't.
Just start throwing stuff.
I did that for the first 10
Yeah,
years
yeah.
of vegetarian, and no good.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's dead on. That's right. But
On
yeah, no, I
that
tried. I
note-
tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are back. That was the trailer for Agramon's Gate, and there's information down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, on our awesome guests, and also for Agramon's Gate as well. And I just wanted to show a picture real quick. Do yourself a favor. Go Google Sky Sharks. It's just the teaser alone is just.
I can't wait. I want to hear Patrick from Throwdown Thursdays thoughts on this movie when it comes out.
He was
obsessed with
asking,
sharks.
yeah, I know. He was asking me about it. So actually, yeah, we'll talk a little bit after, but. So it's 10 o'clock hour. We should wrap things up. So we'll start with Harley. Where do you like people following you?
I mean, I'm pretty interactive everywhere, except I'm still lazy on Twitter. So if you want to interact with me, Harley Wallen on Facebook, official Harley Wallen on Instagram. I'm pretty active on both of those. And then if you want to keep up on the films, Agramon's Gate has its own Facebook page, and you can interact there. Painted Creek Productions, if you want to keep up on all the other things that we're doing. Painted Creek Productions, Agramon's Gate, Harley Wallen.
There we go. Jan.
Yeah, it's just Jan Birch on Facebook. Jan Birch on Facebook fan page. You can follow that. I appreciate it. Click on IMDb as much as you can. That's appreciated in today's age with all these clicks and star meters and stuff. And then Instagram, Jan Birch page. Somebody got Jan Birch before me. He hasn't tried to sell it yet, but he's not on. But I have Jan Birch page. Twitter is just Jan Birch. Everything is Jan Birch except Instagram, which is actually the big one right now. It seems like so. That would be the most appreciated, probably.
Yeah, Instagram is big until people start leaving it.
Aren't they getting rid of the likes and stuff?
They're getting rid of
the
the
it changed. It doesn't say how many. Like it used to say, 50 likes. Now it just says hundreds or thousands or whatever. But it doesn't give you. It doesn't give you a number.
Well, it's Marcus Zuckerberg. He owns it now too. He can do whatever he wants, and he has that clause in the contract. They can't fire him, so we're gonna have to stick with him for a while.
Oh. And I'm convinced they show you ads based on what they hear you talking about.
They totally. They totally.
Of course. I mean, don't get me started on getting verified on Instagram. It's like, whoa,
Oh yeah, you have to give
3 IDs, freaking gas bill. They still don't think you are who you are.
Birth certificate, everything.
Yeah. Tony.
I'm sure they got you on Birch. Is verified.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, you can find me at Tony Has 9 Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews and I show off unboxings and all that stuff. Tony Has 9 Fingers on Twitter, which I'm really not that big on either. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And, of course, here on The Dorkening every Tuesday night. Yo-yo.
You can find me at Boy Meets Phone on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Also, I can speak English. St. Laurent on those same social media channels. And of course, you can find me here. Kevin?
Yes, you can find me A-Knuckle on Twitter and Instagram. I don't really use Twitter. Yeah, you can find me here. I'm also part of Secret Underground Hideout and Black and White Fright, which are both also on the network. So go check those out. And Leo Pond.
Yeah. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But more importantly, check out the awesome guests we had on tonight. Check out Agramon's Gate, which comes at you February 11th on VOD. And also head on over to thedorkening.com, which you'll find all the information about all the awesome shows on our network. And Harley, Jan, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. It's always an absolute pleasure to have you on, and can't wait to talk about your next project. Next time we have you on.
Yeah, keep us.
Thank you.
Posted.
My pleasure. I love being on.
For sure, yeah, great show. First kickoff show for the film, so I appreciate.
This is it, man. Agramon's Gate all the way, all the way.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.